Welcome back to Two Birds and a Third Sports Podcast. I'm here with Ricky, Josh, and Hank, and we're going to bring you the business here. We got pick'ems. We got Jimmy G loaded up. We also have a brawl. Actually, was it an MMA fight or was it a Monday Night Football game? I don't know.
It was football. That's all it was. According to Ben Roethlisberger.
You could have fooled me, but we got some interesting topics to talk about. How's everybody feeling today? Josh, I know you just got done with your 10-mile bike ride.
It's 10 miles there and 10 miles back.
So it's 20.
20.
So it's
20.
It's not 8 miles.
I know your past math class.
What?
Yeah, I didn't need to pass math. I played pretty well in football. So, anyways, Hank, I know you just had to give 3 pink demerits at school today.
not demerits. They're referrals. Because
Can we just call them demerits?
Yeah, because referrals sound like
I like the term demerits. Actually,
they honestly
you're just referring someone.
They honestly need to bring demerits back.
We should.
So, what'd you write them for again?
Okay, and I quote. He said, or no, yeah.
He said that.
He said, "Fuck it, I need to take a shit."
Wow. Hey. That's got to be a great thing to write down. You got to be laughing to yourself the whole time on that one. But hey, Ricky, how's the East Coast treating you right now?
It's good. I mean, it's getting kind of cold, and all the all the Eagles fans are all up in arms about how fantastic they're doing. Oh wait, I forgot. A bunch of people just jumped off the bridge because they're not going 15-1. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I didn't want to go 15-1. I just want to go to the playoffs. That's all.
I just want to win a game.
That's it.
I think you win one game. Playoffs. But anyway,
so
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and start it off, huh? Let's start off with WWF. I mean MNF, Monday Night Football. We have the Bengals and the Steelers, a slobber knocker from the playoffs in 2015.
It's a division game, so division games are always played tough. It's an AFC North game, which is a tough division. Honestly, as for what happened to Shazier, it's sad. Obviously, you never want to see somebody get hurt. We want him to get better, even though he's a rival of the Ravens. All I want is a speedy recovery. I want to see that guy on the field again because he's a class act.
I think
unless your name is Vontaze Perfect.
Yes.
And but the hit on Burfict by Juju Schuster. I'm sorry, that is not anymore. Technically, it's not legal anymore. They outlawed it because somebody got hurt from it. But 3 years ago, you guys, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. We would be talking about the best block of the season that Juju Smith-Schuster laid. But because he got suspended for it, they're saying it's illegal. I think it was just a great block. Burfict just didn't have his head on a swivel. And honestly, if Juju did not block Burfict, he probably would have been in on the tackle on Le'Veon Bell. So he was definitely in the play. It didn't happen across the end of the field. So I think the suspension's ridiculous, and that gets to our discussion that I'm sure we're going to talk about the consistencies, or should we say inconsistencies, of the suspensions being handed down by the NFL. And I know, Hank, you had something you wanted to throw in about the Gronk situation.
Yeah. I'm a big Gronk fan, but what he did was really stupid. Like, that guy was on the ground already, and he kind of headbutted him shoulder to the back of the head after he was down.
He basically jumped off the top rope with the people's elbow coming on the back of the guy's head. Mm-hmm. The play was already over. The dude was laying face down out of bounds. Mm-hmm. I think if you're going to make suspensions, something like that, an egregious act like that, 3 games minimum.
Wow.
An egregious act like that, dude, I get it. And I'm not saying it tempers flair and you're pushing a little bit or something like that, but that's not pushing and shoving. That was just a straight up, dirty, cheap, basically the equivalent of a sucker punch. That's what it was.
I think, obviously, 3 games is, I mean, it's egregious. He's actually trying to inflict harm to a defenseless player. So I could see any type of suspension.
It wasn't a defenseless player. It was a person. They weren't playing. He was not a player in that moment. It wasn't in the field of play.
He was still a defenseless person, but you still have your gear on. But, Ricky, I think that you know from this, I know your Cowboys have had some of these instances in the back, even though they're provoked with Terrell Owens going to the star and then he gets pelted by. Yeah, what do you think on this? What's your take, Ricky?
Well, I was actually watching the game with my father. He's a Steelers fan, and so he's known some of these hits, like the one on, I believe it was Hines Ward. I forget the guy's name when he broke his jaw.
Hines Ward is a crackback king.
He brought that up, he literally brought that up after that hit that Juju made, and I was like, He
wanted to hit people.
So my question is, are they going to start making a targeting rule in the NFL?
I think you don't do that because
yeah, go ahead, Rick.
Well, here's my argument to that and I know they're thinking about it. My whole thing is that the targeting rule. The problem is that the targeting rule ends up coming down to human judgment down with the referees. It's not like, and that's the issue because everyone's going to be like, well, was that a target? Or was that a target? Or was that a target? And then some people will say yes, some people will say no. So my thing is when it comes to in regards to targeting, yes, I understand. Like, my thing is, if you want to implement targeting, okay, fine. My thing is don't make it an instant ejection. Rather, if someone gets called for targeting, I would say the first time's a warning. But and this isn't just like for the game. I'm saying like in total.
So just like this unsportsmanlike conduct, right? Just like the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, except it's more harsh, and like you'd get the warning the first time, 15-yard penalty in the game. And then if you do it in a separate game, you do it again, you get suspended a game.
Okay. I can see that. I think the targeting rule, I don't like it at all. I think you can eject someone just by reviewing a play. Like for Gronk, for instance, all you need to do is review it, look at it once. Okay, he's gone. Can't do that. I think you could call it something else other than targeting, because targeting, it's too matter of fact, to the point. I mean, it's because you said, for human error.
And it's one of those things where you look at that situation and you look at it and you say, Gronk definitely targeted that. He targeted him on a hit. But I get what Ricky's saying. In the field of play, if somebody's coming across the middle, it's like, did he target him? Well, yes, he probably was trying to hit him.
Well, the issue is targeting in college football is basically any hit to the head or neck or like even shoulder area, and they're also kind of like blind, not like back blocks, but kind of like blindside blocks, or any kind of block where the defender leaves his feet, or where like kind of like a defenseless player, like any type of person leaves their feet backwards. So it's difficult, and in a sense you'll find that, I mean, I've seen college games that have been stopped 5 plays in a row because of possible targeting penalties. Mm-hmm. I think that they need to define. I think that it's something that they need to define, and I wouldn't mind having a targeting penalty. It's just I feel like any helmet. I feel like if it's any helmet or shoulder hit to the head while the player is upright, now it's different when a player is like, they'll usually overturn or not call it targeting if the receiver or the running back's lower to the ground.
The problem with that though, Hank, is that when you do that, what about when the receiver lowers his head?
No, they'll usually overturn that.
Okay.
So because there's a situation
review, right? Using the video process.
If that's going to slow down the game so much.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got to be to an egregious hit. Someone just got clean.
That's why you have to go into. That's the thing. Like in college, the rule is so. I don't want to say. I don't know if like open is the right term for it, but like it's so vague. I guess you could say. Yeah, and like because of that. It's like penalty after penalty after penalty, and then So that's why if you want to implement it on the professional level, then what you got to do is you have to have elaborate language that provides for a specific situation, so that it doesn't cause troubles where like you throw a flag and they have to be like, oh, targeting. They got to go review to see if it was targeting. Come back, be like, okay, it wasn't, and then that's my thing. And like someone in the comments said,
I think it's just got to be hits. I think it's just got to be hits to the head, really.
Yeah, and I mean, someone in the comments. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Rick.
Someone in the comments.
Sorry, someone in the chat box, I should say, put like, hey, well, shouldn't professional athletes know about that? Like, why would you just give them a warning? My thing is that the problem is that I was talking directly, if you're talking about that direct college, like that college rule directly to the pros. But if you come up with a rule that's more elaborate and more specific to what is defined as targeting on the national level or on the professional level, then it's a completely different topic of point of view.
Uh-huh.
And to answer that question real quick, it's just, I think the problem is, I know that they should know that already, but when you're playing football, you're not really in the sense to, let me remember everything rule-wise when you're going out and trying to decleat somebody. I bring it back to the one hit Jabril Peppers put on one of the Bengals receivers to break up a play. And he resulted in the fact of hitting a defensive receiver. That brings us into a whole nother bag of worms that we're not going to open up right now. But I did want to get your guys' take real quick on the reaction to that Monday Night Football game amongst the national media and even the populace that were watching the game. It was one of the most highly rated Monday Night Football games this year because of the past history between the two.
It was up 33% from this time last year.
And the way people are reacting right now is that people are scared. I do want your guys' take. Let's start with you, Hank, on how this game affected. Was this game a positive effect on the NFL or was it a negative effect?
Negative in the fact that two marquee players on the defensive side of the football got injured. Positive because of, for the most part, the result and the reaction by players on both teams not named Juju Smith-Schuster.
Okay, so are you more of a fan of the type of style of football that was played last night, or would you rather see it tapered back a bit?
I'm more of a fan of players being safe, but okay. I mean it's exciting to watch, but I mean,
so
it's not good for the game because what if those two were quarterbacks? You just lost Shazier, who's a former first overall pick, and you lost Burfict, who is, he's an asshole, but he's also like an attention grabber.
You're right. The reason I bring it up, Hank and Ricky and Josh, is because I don't know about you guys, but when I was brought up on football, I always used to get those old VHSs with the top 100 hits of the 1995 season. I would always want that, and that's why I think to be honest, I like this type of football. The only person I'm really worried about is Shazier, and I think he's coming out of it. And then thank goodness they're showing signs of something there. But Burfict was walking just fine after he got off the gurney.
And Shazier's was just an accident. So it wasn't a dirty hit.
Yeah, exactly. Burfict just got knocked out, and I love this type of football. That's what football is to me. And I understand that, we need to make the game safer, but you can only do so much to make the game safer. And to be completely honest, that's how I was brought up, and that's how I was taught to crack down on somebody, especially as Burfict. Come on, it's Burfict, guys.
To me, if they end up playing flag football, so be it. I'll still
I just move the helmet. I go with the leatherhead again.
Oh Lord, no, but see, from my lens or from what I saw a pretty good Monday Night Football game. I was actually normally I don't really watch some of the primetime games. Like I normally don't watch Thursday night games. Well, besides if it's the Cowboys, because it's like normally those games are not as good. But then I was like, let me just watch this game. It was pretty good. You had the Bengals beating the Steelers 17-3. Steelers come back, game-winning field goal. Pretty good game. I understand, and the issue I had, and I guess this is the football fan in me saying look, I understand. I'm not trying to say excuse these injuries. I'm not saying that at all. I think player safety should be the number one thing. But unfortunately, these hits are going to be a part of the game. Tempers are going to start flaring. People are going to come and hit you hard. I mean, I have a freaking Roy Williams jersey, the free safety for the Cowboys, and this dude, oh my God, this dude would freaking level you. Unfortunately, his career kind of dialed down because of the way he tackled.
Well, what about John Lynch, who's now the Niners GM? I'm sure he was.
Yeah. No, but again, from my point of view, it was a pretty good Monday Night Football game. I think the issue was the injuries. I think the Ryan Shazier injury took the atmosphere, or took that, excitement out of the game, because it was just that injury itself. I don't want to say it set the tone, unfortunately.
I don't know. I was half mast after Burfict got leveled. That was
I was like, oh my God, see, and some people get upset with my opinion when I say with karma, but my whole thing is this: I understand Burfict's another person, I get it, but I'm sorry, but when this dude has had a series of having so many fines on him for the hits that he's been giving people, I knew he just had it coming. I'm not saying he deserved it, or I'm not saying that what Juju did was the right thing. I just saw, I just knew someone was going to level him at some point, and it just happened to happen.
Okay. Well, hey Josh, real quick, what you got to take on the whole situation there? What did you feel when that Monday Night Football game was ended? Did you have a good feeling? Take the Ryan Shazier element out of it.
Well, I'll even talk about the Ryan Shazier element. As sad as it is, like I had said before, it wasn't a dirty hit, and it wasn't that he got hit dirty. So it was kind of one of those injuries that's wow, that sucks, but that is football.
Yeah.
That is football.
That's what you signed up for.
He lowered his head, and he ended up crunching his back. And, I mean, it happens. I don't think that takes away from the sport, because if you think about how many times that happened for how many people play in the NFL,
it's once a year.
Every given team.
It's about once a year, once or twice a year.
Once or twice a year out of how many hundreds of guys who are playing, though. Yeah. I mean, the percentage is still very, very small for a big injury like that. Mm-hmm. The rest of the game was good. It was a typical AFC battle. I know a lot of people don't like it, but obviously I've grown up watching the AFC North, and that's just how the games are. They always come. They're kind
slobber knockers, man.
Slugfest in the beginning, and then it always comes down to usually the last couple minutes, and it's always decided by one score.
Exactly, and that's typical of division games.
I want to bring up a point, and I think that this could have possibly. Do you think if let's say just Juju just hit him and he walked away? Do you think that if he hadn't looked over him, he would have gotten suspended?
No.
You know what? I think it's still going to be a factor
because he knocked him out.
Yeah, even if he didn't look over.
If he just cracked him down and Burfict got up, I think it'd be fine. I think it would have been fine. Or if he cracked him down, and maybe if he didn't stand over him, because I think that's what made it that much of a bigger deal.
It was
he hit him and then he stood over, so everyone looked at that and more examined it. Whereas if he just would have laid him out and walked away, and maybe Burfict would have just gotten up, I don't think it would have been nearly as big of a deal. But it was the taunting. And they're probably saying he tried to hurt him, and that's why they're suspending him. Yeah. But he didn't. He just made a good football play, and then he got jacked about it and stood over.
Yeah.
He just laid an awesome block, but I don't think he should be suspended for it at all. No. I'm against that suspension. Gronk should be suspended for longer. Akib and Crabtree are right in the perfect area, but Smith-Schuster should not be suspended.
No.
Because Kiko only got fined for hitting Joe Flacco during a slide. I mean, he only got fined. Iloka, the safety in that game who did the helmet-to-helmet hit on Antonio Brown at the end of the game.
Well, because
he's only got fined.
Well, Brown he reacted differently. He just laid down on the ground and got up and started celebrating. That's different because Burfict, like you said, was taken off on a gurney. But I think that's a perfect segue, guys. Hank, did you have something to finish on, or do you want to move on to the playoff
I
push?
did not. Let's move on.
Okay. All right. Let's. All right,
Don't
Hank.
sound too excited.
Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and move on and go to the playoff push. The recent playoff picture that we have for the AFC. I saw a cool little meme. It was just the Patriots. Yeah, it's just the Patriots and then the whole NFC.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, Rick, sorry, Hank. Let's start with you. Let's get your biggest surprise playoff push. Who's in the hunt, and I guess one that you.
Are we starting with the AFC?
I think we start off with the AFC. Let's start with the AFC, Hank.
Well, I guess like the Patriots are still the obvious favorites, and it seems like the Titans and the Jaguars are having a pretty good battle. I think both will make it. One will make a wild card, and one will make the division. And of course, the Ravens are in the rear at the 6th spot, and I guess the Steelers will probably either be first or second, and then that 4th playoff spot, it's a barn burner between the Chiefs, who have been strangely sluggish. The Raiders and the Chargers are making a mount, and the way things are going with the Chiefs, I feel bad for them.
Do you think there's only one team from the AFC West that goes out of the 3?
Yeah.
Really?
I think that it's. I think it's gonna be like 9-7, because I don't think one of all 3 teams are gonna win all 3 games or all 4 games.
Do they? Anybody have a schedule up? I know that the Raiders still have to play.
The Raiders still play the Chiefs. They still play. All 3 teams still play each other one more time.
Exactly. The Raiders play the Chiefs.
So it's not.
The Raiders and Chiefs play. Well, you know what I mean. Like Raiders and Chiefs. Raiders and Chargers. Chiefs play the Chargers. The Chiefs play the Chargers.
Wow. See, this is going to be such a toss-up, guys. I think 9-7. You don't think anyone wins out from here? You don't think the Raiders can pull off a win?
It's possible that one of them can win out, but two of those teams are not going to win out.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless someone well, it's impossible that all 3 teams are going to win out. I think right now it's between the Chargers and the Raiders. I think the Chiefs something's wrong with them. If it's not the offense, one week it's the defense the next. I think that Andy Reid is starting to lose the team, and I don't think it's Alex Smith's fault. I think
it's never Alex Smith's fault.
I think that in a sense, like that defense that has been so good for the last 3 or 4 seasons under Andy Reid. I mean, I saw it happen with the Eagles. Andy Reid, say what you want about him being good at bringing in free agents, but he is not the greatest at drafting defensive talent.
I saw this recently. Is about two guys came together who could never make it happen, and that was Andy Reid and Alex Smith. And we're seeing, unfortunately, the fruit of that loom right now. I think the AFC West is one of the most tightest divisions. Obviously, right now we kind of saw this coming a little bit, maybe with the Broncos, not so much the Chargers, but.
I think we also thought it was going to be a lot more wins.
I
think we were going to be looking at
they're
teams
beating
with
each other,
7 or 8 wins.
I have the Raiders actually going. I think they're going to go 10-6, and they're going to take the division.
So you think they're going to be? They're going to beat the Chiefs this weekend.
Yep.
The Cowboys next weekend. Yep. The Eagles after that. Yep. And then beat.
I know they have
Chargers.
One of the toughest schedules, but they're coming back. They fired Ken Norton Jr. finally. Their defense is playing a tad bit better. One thing about the Chiefs game, the Chiefs
a tad bit better against Geno Smith and the Giants.
I understand that, but that's good. That's good practice, to when you go in and play the real game, which is going to be this week. But the Chiefs, I don't know if you guys just heard this. Marcus Peters been suspended for that game for throwing the flag into the end zone.
That was stupid.
They're getting Crabtree back this week, right?
Are they playing in KC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So I mean, I think the Raiders win that one. But Rick, what do you think about the AFC West or the playoff picture?
Okay, I'm just gonna put this plain and simple. It's the bye weeks are definitely going to Pittsburgh and New England. I don't think there's a question about that. The question, I think the two biggest.
Josh got a question for you on that one.
Well,
I have a question for you on that one. Do you think those buys are automatically going to the Steelers and New England, even though the Jaguars and the Titans only 2 games back, and the Steelers still have to play New England and the Ravens?
no, because
they're guaranteed a spot.
No, the reason why I say that is because the Jaguars and the you could argue both of these teams. They play the Seahawks. The Jaguars play the Seahawks. They play the Titans, Texans, and 49ers. So I mean, like, I feel like the Jaguars are gonna end. I think they're gonna end the season either 10-6 or 11-5. The Titans are probably gonna finish same record. It's gonna come down to that final game to decide who wins the AFC South. Getting past that, I want to just get to the. Okay, I think that the Titans and Jaguars, I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think the Ravens are going to make the playoffs. The biggest question mark is the AFC West, who I think the Chargers are going to win it.
Whoa! I understand.
The Chargers are playing the best football.
Yeah.
And this is what I think is going to happen this week. I think that the Raiders are going to beat the Chiefs, knock them off. But the problem is then I think that what's going to happen is the Chargers are going to.
Redskins?
Oh.
Do I? Yeah. And
That's
I think
a possibility.
But I mean, I'm not saying that they have an easy schedule. I'm just saying, like, for the most part, the way that the Chiefs and Raiders have been playing, I don't know exactly.
You don't know what to think. I don't know what to think.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they are the equivalent of what the NFC East and NFC South were like a couple years ago.
Yeah, the Jekyll and Hyde. You're gonna get one. You're either gonna get the bad team or get the good team.
And let's be honest.
At the end of the day,
Let's be honest.
I think. Oh my God! I look. Anyone that plays whoever comes out of the AFC West is going to get a free playoff win.
I wouldn't go that far. If it's the Charger, if it's the Chargers, everyone remembers that one Chargers game where they were 8-8 and they beat the Indianapolis Colts in overtime. I would never ever lay down on it. Every team that has gone 500 or less, or like 7-9 or 7-8-1, they've all won at home. Seattle.
Oh wow.
Seattle, the Panthers beat the Cardinals.
Well, then again, we don't know how the seeding is going to be either. So
the the Tim Tebow's Broncos beat the Steelers. You know, so
yeah. So I look. In all honesty, I think that in the AFC, I think the playoff picture is more or less set. It's just a matter of who wins the AFC West and where the seeding is.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's the unicorn of the AFC.
Sucks because the NFC looks like a freaking like this is like the greatest conference in all of football because the parity that exists within the NFC is just amazing. I mean,
so much parity.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens though. Hey, anybody else got anything on the playoffs?
Well, we kind of focused on the AFC. I thought we were gonna head over to the NFC.
We're going to the NFC.
Okay, cool.
I think we can all agree that the Ravens are gonna go.
Yeah.
I really do
John,
believe that they
on
will.
your end there?
No, it's fine. We'll move on to the NFC.
So the NFC, I just hope the Eagles get in. I don't care if they're the number 1 seed or the number 6 seed.
I swear to God.
Honestly,
Hank, I saw you commented on SportsCenter when they were like, the Eagles have 100% chance. You're like, how do they have 100% chance, but they haven't technically clinched a playoff spot
yeah,
yet?
I
Hank talked about this,
honestly believe that it's because that so many of those teams that are vying for a playoff spot play each other Like, I think the Saints still play the Falcons twice, so they could possibly deal the Falcons, like, the finishing blow to make it so that the Falcons only have 9 wins. The Panthers, they still play the Falcons and
The Vikings this
the
week.
Vikings, so that could
Yep.
deal them the finishing blow because if the Eagles go 10-6 and the Panthers go 10-6, then the Eagles get in because the Eagles have a tiebreaker. The only 3 teams they'd have to worry about are the Cowboys, the Packers, and the Seahawks. And if Seattle wins 9 games, then the Eagles are automatically in. But of course, that would mean that they would go 1-3.
Yeah, and I mean, me and Hank talked about it, and I believe the Eagles are 9-0 in the conference, so it's just a matter of time before
they're 9-1.
Oh yeah, that's right, because Seattle beat them. Yeah, I forgot.
Yes.
Sorry. No, but the point being is, I think the Eagles more or less are they're gonna make the playoffs. It's just a matter of when is it gonna happen?
I think it's so close to 100% that they can't cap it at a certain number, because they also said that the Patriots had a 100% chance of going to the playoffs, even though they haven't clinched their division either.
Yeah, it's just, I guess, based off of trends, I guess, and based off of how the rest of the league is playing. But anywho, I guess you could say the biggest question mark in the NFC is more or less, well, number 1, the seeding, obviously, and number 2, the wild card. Probably this is the most interesting wild card chase I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Mainly because I think the Panthers, and I'm not trying to be biased here, but I think that the Panthers are more or less going to fall out of it because they have like a 4-6 conference record. So literally, they have to ensure they keep winning, or they're if the Panthers, which they have a tough road ahead of them, they could still technically win the depending if the Saints falter, they can win the South. But the problem is like, if the Panthers just cannot get, the Panthers can't afford to lose 2 more games, because if they end up getting to 10-6, I guarantee you they're going to get bounced by one of these other teams, whether that be Dallas, Green Bay, Seattle.
And you have to understand that the Cowboys and the Packers are standing back there, both at 6-6, and if they both win out, then I'm pretty sure they both make it.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the Packers would be the 5th and the Cowboys would be the 6th based on the tiebreaker. But it's mainly because, and this is my thing, is that's why I think that, and people want to be like, well, they're sitting at 8-4. People don't really look at the schedule and be like, and by the way, anything can happen. For all I know, everything I say could be.
For all we know, the Eagles might not make the playoffs.
Like, for all we know, the Eagles could end up losing out and lose the division to Dallas, which I'm not saying is going to happen. Absolutely not. That'd be ridiculous. I mean, I'm being dead serious. Like, that is not going to happen.
Yeah.
If that happens,
well, I hope it does. But I think that as of right now, the Vikings are the only comfortable team.
Yeah,
because of who they play. They play the Buccaneers, which that should be a win. They still play the Bears, and that again should be a win. The only question marks are the Panthers and the Packers.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad because we don't have Josh and DJ in this kind of conversation. So, your guys' thoughts on the NFC playoff picture?
Well, Josh, what do you think?
The NFC's stacked this year. I mean, they're playing well, and there's a lot of teams that have played well and beaten each other in the NFC. Like the Vikings, the Rams, the Eagles. Those 3 right now, I would say, are the 3 best teams, followed by the Saints are right up there as well. But then you got the sneaky teams in there too, like the Cowboys that are still kind of making a stand there, and then the Redskins that are sneaking up too. The Lions are clinging on to life right now, but I just think the NFC is a pretty good division, and you guys got a lot of good games going on, and I think that the Eagles are making it this year for sure. And I think the Vikings, like you guys said, the Vikings look like the best team in the NFL. I wish the Vikings could play the Patriots right now. I would love to.
My whole thing. See, I guess the question is going to be, because I guess we know. I think for the most part, we know that the Vikings and the Eagles are most likely going to win their divisions. I guess the question is going to be which wild card team, and this could be any of them that are in the wild card chase. Which wild card team in the NFC do you think is that people are sleeping on? Should people be worried about?
I would have to tell you, and this is all bearing on if Aaron Rodgers does come back. It's got to be the Green Bay Packers.
That's what.
Because guess who the Green Bay Packers are playing next week? The Holy Browns. Yeah, so if they could sneak away with another win, they're going 7-6 with another 2 weeks away from getting Aaron Rodgers back. And if they're sitting pretty, what was the last time they won the Super Bowl when they were a wild card team? So this could just. Yeah. This was just like a story written for them. You know, Chase Hundley saves them in the middle of the season, saves it for Aaron Rodgers. Brett Hundley, sorry. He seems like a Chase.
AKA Lawrence Fishburne's son.
He is?
No.
Oh, he looks like him. No, that's okay.
He won. He beat the Bucks. That's about it.
Well, I know, but he beats the Browns. Then he's got something there.
He beat the Bears too.
He beat Mitch Trubisky.
God,
that must have been such a.
How about Case Keenum, guys? Can we talk about Case Keenum for a second here? Is this guy for real, or is this just a product of good offensive coordination?
I think it's a mix of both.
I think it's a mix of both, but I think it's more product of their offense.
Yeah, exactly.
Because look what happened. Delvin Cook, who was their first round pick, he went down. You can't really tell the running game's been affected. They still are running the ball very efficiently.
Well, they got Latavius.
Yeah, they got Latavius and McKinnon. They're loaded at running back.
Yeah. I know, but I'm just saying that, like, I mean, they're good, yes, but it just seems like they're able to put people in and they play well. Remember, before Sam Bradford hurt his knee, he was going off.
Oh yeah, but do you start Bridgewater when he comes back?
No.
Do you want that? Oh, he's back. He's ready to go.
But here's what I will say. I think they're gonna get rid of Keenum after this season.
Oh, that's so shitty. I mean, because he's
really is
the best he's ever done.
That's smart.
It really
I understand
is.
that, but
really
I know I get what you're saying. Because he's gonna get top dollar probably on the market if he goes out. Not top dollar, but he's gonna get something more top dollar for him because he's never made that much money.
I mean, if they win, or they get to the Super Bowl, then it's the best idea to get rid of him because he's gonna want more money. He should hold out. And they've got Bridgewater, and they could possibly trade him for like a first and a sec, like some desperate team out there, like maybe Jacksonville who needs a core, or maybe I
could see Jacksonville doing it because they're a team that needs a quarterback.
Yeah,
it's like the thing they're missing.
Yeah, and then they'll trade for him, and then the Vikings can start Bridgewater again. I think that's like the perfect storm right there.
Yeah. And I will say this. I don't think I guess, and I said this to Hank. I have a feeling that the Vikings aren't going to make it to the Super Bowl, and no, I'm not hating on them because they're playing probably. But it's because they're hosting the Super Bowl. We all know that whole mantra.
Yeah, well, I mean, so was the Madden curse, and that was broken recently. Maybe this happens.
The Madden curse was broken in 2010 with Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was broken.
Well, that was also because he was the first one voted in by the people.
Exactly.
It's also because he was white.
The fans were allowed to vote on who they wanted on the cover of that year's Madden, and Drew Brees won, which is why he broke the curse, because he had all the love.
You know the Patriots have had two.
Let's be honest here. I think it's because he was white.
No, I'm kidding.
The two Patriots have made the past two covers.
All right, so before we wrap up, I kind of wanted to go around. So I guess out of the wildcard teams, which team do you think is going to fall off, and which team do you think is going to sneak in?
In the NFC?
Go around.
In the
Yeah, in the NFC, yeah.
In the NFC, I think that it's looking like the Falcons. And in the NFC, it could either be Dallas or the Packers. In the AFC, I don't really see any of these teams falling out. I think the wild card race that there is right now, I think it's going to end like this. Or you could possibly say the Chiefs are going to fall off and the Chargers are going to fall in. I guess that's
so everybody's going to be tied in the AFC West, and that's what's just going to happen.
They're going to end 8-8, all of them.
It's just going to come down to tiebreakers, or it's just going to come down to like the division winners, and then probably there's two people going from the AFC North probably, and then there's one person going from the West, and then two people going from the South. There you go.
Okay.
Jacks.
Right.
And then in the NFC, I see the Panthers falling off. I just don't. I don't think they're like. Every time I watch the games that they win, it's like, how the hell did you win that? That's like sloppy. They just don't look complete. I think that they will fall off. And I think that I agree with Hank with the Falcons. I think the Falcons can stay in it. I think they can do decently.
So mine, just a quick wrap up. I believe in the National Football Conference, you're going to have one team from the NFC East. That would be the Eagles. One team from the NFC North. That would be the Vikings. One team from the NFC South. That would be the Saints. And two teams from the NFC West. Would be the Rams and Seahawks. And I'm going back. It's my surprise team. The Packers. Coming. So I got two teams NFC North.
The Packers.
Oh, okay.
The Packers.
I guess I'll do the AFC real quick. I mean, I think the Chiefs are going to fall off. I mean, all the other teams, I guess, if you want to argue seeding, I think you could. The most likely is the Steelers could possibly fall off in terms of just falling from that one seed, which is pretty easy to do. I think the Chargers is the sleeper team, mainly because they've been playing amazing over the past couple weeks. I mean, they're playing probably the best football in that division.
Beat the Browns. Come on.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, yeah, exactly. Okay. So moving over to the NFC, I think. I honestly think that the Falcons and Panthers. I don't. You could argue the Seahawks, but I don't really see them falling off, like losing their last 4 games. I think they'll go 9-7. I think that the two teams you have to look out for are Green Bay and Dallas. Obviously, no, because I'm not saying as a Cowboys fan, but let me tell you something. If Dallas is sitting at 8-6 and Zeke comes back, they're definitely going to be that team to look out for, because you have an angry running back coming back who makes that team so much dangerous than what the record shows.
Yeah.
Their defense is healthy outside of Orlando Scandrick. So, I mean, and the Packers, when Aaron Rodgers is there, he's a beast.
I think without having Aaron Rodgers there, all these people back in the day who used to say, like, the Packers have the best system for winning. They don't spend any money in free agency. It's the smartest thing. I think that the Packers have just always had two of the greatest quarterbacks that there are. They've had Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
you know
they got.
I mean? Like,
yeah.
But those cover up the deficiencies. And for
exactly
297 career starts through Brett Favre, you never had to worry about playing games without Brett Favre. Now that Rodgers is hurt, you see that team's not very good. I mean, it got shut out against the Ravens. An NFL team was not able to get within field goal range.
At least the Browns did.
For most of the game.
The Browns, they scored some points on the Ravens, I don't imagine. Like 12.
Damn.
But anyways.
Do we want to start? Do we want to quickly
I think
discuss?
the most interesting, obviously, division in the AFC, I'm going to just stick with this. I'm taking the Raiders out of there. And I got the Jaguars and Titans, Steelers, Ravens, and Patriots.
Don't we have to get to Jimmy G and then we get to picks, right?
Yep.
Alrighty. Let's get to Jimmy G real quick. So, for those that don't know, Jimmy G had a I would say, very productive start. Granted, they did not get into the end zone.
Yes,
but
I know they didn't get into the end zone. They got close. I still think it's an improvement.
oh, absolutely.
Well, it's a win. I think anything. I mean, you just take a win out of that, and that's your first career start with your real team. I know he started with the Patriots, but like this is numero uno, and he came out through one pick that was, we put quotations up as a pick, obviously, because it was a perfect pass that was dropped by the receiver, which led to interception.
Not even dropped. He it was the defensive back. I mean, just be a man and hold that ball.
Come on.
The defensive back literally pulled it out of his arms.
You have Stickum on your gloves. I just don't understand.
Yeah, like, unfortunately in the record books, that's going in as an interception. But in all honesty, that should not have counted as an interception because you put the ball where it had to go. It was just the matter of the receiver not holding on to it. I mean, to be fair, considering what he's working with, he did pretty good.
That's another thing. That's a 300-yard passing game almost.
And he's making second and third stringers look good.
He is converting on third down.
The best third down efficiency the Niners have had in 7 years.
He's a gamer. He's a baller. He's a winner.
So pay the man. You get him the money.
They were able to move the ball down the field. He was able to hit some throws that I haven't seen beat hard or even Colin Kaepernick, Alex Smith.
Did you say beat hard?
Yeah,
Yes,
Beathard.
beat hard.
I call him beat hard. CJ beat hard. Look at his name.
His
No,
name
anyway,
is no longer Beathard, it's Beat Hard. Because he gets
Well,
beat hard.
I guess the question is, guys, and I believe DJ brought this up. Of course, we all know that Jimmy G's contract is expiring this season. So the question is if you're the 49ers, you're in control.
Yeah.
Do you sign him long term? You franchise him. Me personally, I franchise him. Look, you have the cap space.
No.
No, listen.
Whoa.
Listen. No, wait.
Whoa.
Let me explain. It depends on how big the contract is, and I don't know exactly how big we're talking. If it's like a 4-year, 20 mil. Okay, I could get that. But my problem is that we don't know. And granted, we still have a ton of games left to play. So again, my perception might change. But if you sign him long term, which but when I think of signing long term, I'm looking at all these other contracts by quarterbacks, and I don't know how much he's going to ask for.
Smart thing for Jimmy G to do would be to franchise tag it. The team should try to give him something that's around the average, not a Matthew Stafford. He's not going to get that much, but give him $19 million a year.
Well, why, Rick? What were you saying?
No, my argument is that look, again, I don't know how much he's asking for, so that plays into my reasoning for why you franchise him. Because let's say you play out this year, he does decent or he does good. Do you franchise him? You have the cap space to do it. You get more solid pieces around him. Give him a full year starting with the more weapons. See how he does. If he does great, then give him that contract deal. I mean, again, it all comes down to how much he's asking for. If he's asking for Derek Carr money and all that other stuff, then I'm franchising him because why am I going to pay this? Now, granted, I will say, I'm going to wait, see what the 49ers do before I can make the assumption or make a pick of what they should do.
What I'm thinking, Rick, here is I love the. I mean, it's a win-win situation for the Niners. If you franchise him, you get to see what he wants to do. Because I think even with this small sample size, you already know what you got. This guy's throwing ropes like Tom Brady. He's got the footsteps just like his footwork like Tom Brady. But if you sign him right now to a long-term deal at the end of the year, that means you're going to beat out any the contracts that are coming up next season are going to determine what you're going to end up paying Jimmy G if he does really well. If you sign him to a long-term or just a 4-year extension right at the end of this year, you could save your franchise a shit ton of money because we already pretty much know what's going to happen here. This guy is the real deal. He's been waiting, ready to go. He's fresh out of the Belichick system. Sign the man, save a bunch of money, so you can build around.
I think that they're gonna franchise tag him because I think he's going. Quarterbacks these days are not an easy group to pay. I think he'll be worth like something like 18, 19 million right now, and then it's gonna be backloaded. Might be a backloaded contract. If they just franchise tag him, they could probably get away with paying him less in the long run. I mean, I know cap space isn't an issue for the 49ers, so they might just eat it all.
Well, if you franchise tag him, that means you're already paying him $23 million right there. And if he does really well, he's going to ask for Derek Carr money. Plus that, he's going to ask for what Matthew Stafford gave him.
Well,
so
but it all depends on what the contract he gets.
Tag him again.
Yeah, so you Kirk Cousins him. You Kirk Cousins him, so he hates you.
No. What I'm saying is it depends on what contract he wants.
That's the problem. Like we don't know
if he wants $24 million a year, then you franchise tag him.
But here's my thing.
This is the problem. Sign him, and then you don't have to worry about this issue because then you just have stuff coming up. Oh, does he want to be in San Francisco? Oh, I don't know.
Wait a minute. But remember when, and I'm not trying to say he is Matt Castle. Please let me explain. So remember, Matt Castle looked pretty good in New England, and then I think he did pretty decent his first year in Kansas City.
No, his second year he had the best passer rating he had the best touchdown per interception ratio in the NFL or something like that.
Yeah, and then guess what? Then he ended up
back checking right now.
It all depends on what he wants.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, let's say the 49ers win 2 of their next 4 games, and they end up being 5-11 or 4-12, then I don't think that they'll give him as much. But if he wins all 4 games, then he'll be asking for top dollar.
Making that monies.
So I think just real quick to go around the horn one more time, I believe that that they should sign him, save some money in the long run. Ricky, what do you think?
Sign him if he's not asking for a lot, but if he's asking for a lot, franchise him.
Josh, what are you thinking?
I agree. I think you should franchise him this year. There's not enough sample size. Just franchise him this year and then sign him to a long term.
Yeah, I think look for his contract, and then if he wants too much, then you tag him. You tag him, and then you bag him.
And then you kill him.
Wow. Then you have him.
And then you have him. He's mine.
So let's move on to what everybody's been waiting for.
The picks.
They're in. And Ricky, can you give us the update? Who is winning? Here's some cool music.
Okay, that's not really music. That's rap music for you now. No, I'm kidding. Anyhow, so we actually had a fantastic week. All 4 of us. I can't count. Well, me and Hank did the best at 13-3 apiece. DJ had another fantastic week at 11-5, and Josh went 10-6. So pat yourself.
I mean, that still is a good week.
Yeah, and we gotta bring this up. DJ, for the first time this season, has gone over 500 in the picks.
It took him 14 weeks.
You know what that means, guys? That means I'm hot. So anybody listening right now want to bet some lines, you listen up. I got the intel right now. Call 1-800-775.
No, but anyhow, so in case they're wondering the records, I'm just going to say how many wins, because it's kind of like, just to speed things up. 123 for Hank. For me, 114. For Josh, 110. And for DJ, 103. So we all have now over 100 wins. We were waiting on DJ to catch up.
Yep.
The comeback commences.
No,
now
but,
we're all just gonna pick the same games DJ picks.
No, but I want to do a little fantasy football update for the Two Birds and a Third fantasy football league. For those that participated, we thank you a lot. We have 4 playoff teams. We might expand it later in the future. We don't know what we want to do next year. Who knows? Let me just do a quick little thing if this thing could ever pop up. Okay, so in the first 2 games, well, in the actual like championship bracket, it's me, the Meme Machine, versus the Little Giants, and it's Team Go Nuts, which is Josh, versus the Willow Glen Browns, which is DJ. So unfortunately, Hank is not in our postseason, but he has brownie points because he did beat me
twice.
Yeah, he beat you twice.
He was in essence what the Giants were to the Cowboys last season.
Exactly.
He got the case of the McApoos.
The McApoo.
Yeah, exactly. Anywho, let's get to these picks. So, to start things off, we have the Thursday Night Football game in Atlanta. It's New Orleans at Atlanta. The question is who you guys picking?
This
TJ?
is a big game.
Hank.
This is a big game for the Falcons. If they don't win this game, then it's more than likely their season if they don't win. So I'm gonna go with the hot hand, the Saints. The Falcons did not look good without their 2 best corners. I don't know if they're gonna be back or not, but the Saints are a high octane passing offense with a 2-headed running game. I pick the Saints.
I'm going to go with the Saints as well. They're definitely hot, and especially over that win versus Carolina. I think that translates into Thursday.
I would have to agree with you on that as well. I have the Saints written down here. They are just, as you guys said, not only are they prolific at passing with Drew Brees, the 2-headed monster at running back, but also on top of that, this is the best I've seen that defense look in a while. That defense is actually looking pretty good as well. So I'm going with the Saints.
Yeah, and sticking with the plan here, pick the things that you guys pick. Going with the Saints. Basically just for everything you guys said, I'm just going to copy it word for word, verbatim. Next pick.
Okay, next game, we get into the 1 o'clock games. The first game on the docket is, oh Lord, we got Indianapolis, the sad face, versus the mediocrity that is the Buffalo Bills. At 66, they are playing at Buffalo.
Is Tyrod playing?
I actually have no idea.
That was my question. I wrote the Bills down, and I just thought to myself, is Tyrod
I will
playing?
check.
All right, we're doing a quick
If
fact check.
Tyrod plays, I pick the Bills. If he
we
doesn't,
got- Tyrod's not been practicing, so
It's still Wednesday though.
can I
Wait,
do that thing? If Tyrod plays, I pick.
If
If Tyrod plays, I pick the Bills. If he does
you guys
not
don't
play,
have any faith in Nathan Peterman?
no.
The guy came out of
Come on, 5 quick picks. No, but
I
no.
pick the Colts if he does not play.
yeah, I'm the same way. Look, in all honesty, this game, I'm pretty sure. Are we all on the same board? Like, if
Yeah.
Tyrod plays,
You know what?
Buffalo's winning.
I'm
I'm
picking the Colts.
I'm just picking the Colts.
I'm picking the Colts. I think Jacoby Brissett, this team's been looking for a win. They've been hungry. This is a team that doesn't know. The Bills are a team that doesn't know who they want to be quarterback. They're one of those teams. I believe the Colts
So-
know.
You two are picking Indy outright, regardless of the situation, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Josh. Okay. Jesus, I don't even know what to do. I'm gonna just go with Buffalo. I think
Oh wow.
I got faith in Peterman.
Penisman. Hi guys, my name is
Moving on.
Nathan Penisman.
Oh no, I didn't hear Hank's. Hank, are you the?
I'm
He's
either.
flip-flop.
The
If
flopper.
Tyrod Taylor plays, he's picking the Bills. If
That's how I am though. But I'll go with
But
Buffalo
like
anyway.
here's the thing. Once the game starts, my pick is whatever happens. My pick
Yeah,
is
so
in.
we'll just keep our eyes out for that one. So I'll wait for what you
Yeah.
say. Next
Yeah,
game,
just-
huge game, playoff
Huge.
implications, huge. It's a big league.
important.
Is it
Oh,
is
as
it the
many-
Bears at the Bengals?
It's the Minnesota Vikings going to Carolina, take on Cam Newton, and
that fake ass team in Carolina is about to get what's coming.
No, stop! You're giving them motivation.
I think DJ just jinxed the Vikings.
Going Vikings, Vikings.
The Vikings are 5-1 away. I will pick the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going with Minnesota as well. Oh my God, they still have something to play for, so they're still, Carolina does, but yeah. Next game,
what did Josh pick?
Yeah, Josh picked Minnesota.
Oh, he did? Okay, I didn't hear him.
Yeah, I said it first, Hank.
Oh, okay.
God, Hank.
Next game, we have the Battle of Disappointments, but I will say I guess it's not as disappointing. Cincinnati going up against Chicago in Cincinnati.
I got the Bengals.
I've got the Bungles.
Because they're in my division, I'm going with the Bengals.
Got the Bungles.
Okay, I'm going. We all going Bungles?
You know what?
Oh.
No.
I got to go with the Bengals, too. God damn it, I hate the Bengals so much.
Okay, next game, a huge game. It's Green Bay going to the main exporter of clinical depression, that is Cleveland.
That's so depressing there. It's cloudy now.
The factory of sadness.
I'm going upset here. I'm taking Cleveland. I'm crazy. Let me explain. I think that Jacoby Brissett has a down game. And I think that Cleveland gets its first win.
Brissett's on the Colts, man.
You mean Brett Hundley?
I mean Brett Hundley. You see, this is why I don't care about the backups.
They're both.
You mean Chase Hundley?
I get it. They're both of African American descent, so therefore they are the same person.
I don't appreciate that as a minority. I am.
I actually.
Don't let this distract you from.
I actually consider myself to be part African American. So
that's it. I'm leaving. No, but
hey, don't.
Anywho.
Anyways, you got the Browns beating the Packers? I love it. You know what? And I think you're trying to ride my coattails here because I've been picking the Browns since day one. And I think you're trying to jump on this bandwagon right now.
Are you taking the Browns?
I'm taking the Browns.
Hank, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Packers.
I swear to God. Come on, Kaiser, if you're playing.
I honestly, I picked the Browns last week. I mean, I was nice enough to pick the Browns last week.
Oh, thank you so much for your fucking pick, Hank. I'm so glad that you picked
You're
Browns,
welcome.
I picked them for the past 14 weeks, Hank.
You're welcome, but I have
on their bye week.
I have
I
have a record to keep up with, so.
Can you imagine if they win?
Let's move on to the next step in the Jimmy G experiment. Is that the next?
Yeah, yes. It is San Francisco going to Houston.
I have San Francisco winning this, getting the third win in 4 games. That was 4 games.
I have San Francisco also winning this game.
But if they win this game, it's technically a winning streak.
It's a 2-game winning streak. San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm going with San Francisco as well. Oh my God, Tom Savage.
I'm going with San Francisco because Tom Savage is garbage.
Yeah, I think we all agree.
Hey, be nice about your favorite player. I just ordered your jersey. I just ordered his jersey for you.
I also got you a sex robot.
I hope it was a University of Pittsburgh Tom Savage jersey.
No.
Limited edition. It came out of the dumpster.
I got a custom Eagles Tom Savage.
Oh no!
And guess what his number is? It's number 7.
The lucky number.
Oh, no.
My lucky number is actually 10.
Nick Foles doing your favorite game.
Yeah, against
the next huge matchup.
Huge.
It's Oakland. Huge. Believe me.
This
Oakland
has big effects, guys.
Yes. Our president.
Can we make that a drop? That'd be great.
Huge.
Oakland at KC. I'm going with Oakland.
I gotta go Oakland too.
I've been picking Kansas City the last 6 weeks. I've been losing every time.
And you're still have a 9-game lead.
You're still gonna pick 'em, aren't you?
And I'm gonna pick Oakland.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Andy.
Damn, that means the Raiders are gonna lose, huh?
I have the
So,
Raiders as well.
Man, Hank, you better not.
Sorry,
Flip
Andy.
up now. Next, we have this game was hard for me to pick because I don't know what's going on with Matthew Stafford. Detroit's going to Tampa Bay.
Excuse you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna pick Tampa Bay in this one.
I gotta, it's just because, I hate the Lions, so Tampa Bay.
Hank?
I actually love the Lions, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, well, you know what? Hank, you also love the Giants too, and how'd they end up?
And I already had it written down here. I have the Bucks winning too.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So we're all in that boat together. Next game. This is a pretty huge I would say it's a huge matchup in terms of implications.
Big league.
Dallas going to New York to take in the bizarre uniform choices.
Because
Dallas
the
the
Giants,
first-
because the Giants color rush jerseys are white. White.
And I don't know. I'm not the one that decides that. But anywho, who you guys picking? I'm going with Dallas.
I'm going with Dallas.
Oh man, okay, so this is like this could be something of like since McAdoo's gone, they're gonna play really, really well. Eli Manning has a fire under his ass because he got benched. He's pissed.
And he's gonna
I'm
throw.
going
He's gonna.
Giants. I'm
he's
going
going full
Giants, baby.
He's gonna go full Eli and throw 5 picks.
Oh, he's going full Eli, and he's gonna throw.
You know what? As much as I wanted to pick the Giants earlier,
come on!
but I just couldn't even write it down. I wrote down the Cowboys. I'm going with the Cowboys.
I'm going Giants. Come on, baby.
I swear to God, if the Giants win, I'm done. Can't wait to get.
Well, Dallas is.
No, but-
Well,
think you
Dallas
guys are.
literally.
Out of the
can't
way.
But I'm not taking this game lightly. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, Ricky's gonna be drinking here at the next.
Drinking
next-
that hydrogen
next 6 days.
peroxide. It drove me out of my misery. No, but I'm just kidding. Okay. Wait, did I get all the 1 o'clock games?
No.
Did I miss?
Oh yeah, you did.
No,
Actually, I think you did.
Oh,
Did I really?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Weird.
You're slipping, Hank. I mean, Rick.
Wait, what about the Ravens Steelers? Oh no, that's Sunday night.
That's
Sunday
Monday. That's Sunday. Sunday. Okay. Anyway, I got them all.
Yeah, you got.
Okay,
it.
cool. Whatever.
Whatever.
It's because there's more 4 o'clock games. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the West.
Anywho, my apologies.
Titans.
Next, first one, Arizona. I'm taking Tennessee.
I'm taking Tennessee as well.
Well, I think that Tennessee is going to win this game too, and it's just hurting me. I'm just really trying to get my picks back.
I'm
So-
gonna pick Tennessee too. Did you know Marcus Mariota has only thrown 10 touchdowns this season?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That is
It's-
freaking.
Does he even know how to
ridiculous.
football?
What?
He has a bad hammy. He can't move.
Well, we all
Anyway.
picked Tennessee,
Yeah.
so I think we got the
Whatever.
next thing.
Next
The Jets
game
and
is
Broncos.
Jets in Denver. Jets
Jets.
in Denver.
Jets, Jets. Fly in mile high.
Jets, Jets.
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 The Jets. Jets.
Did you guys?
I think that this is actually a trap game. Maybe the Broncos pull this one off. I'm not ballsy enough to pick them, so I'm going Jets.
Did you guys notice? Remember when Marcus Peters threw that challenge flag into the stands?
It was
know
a yellow
who-
flag.
Do you know who caught the flag?
Who, Hank? Was it your cousin?
The
Bob
Jews.
Saget? Whatever.
The Jews.
This is Uncle Bob Saget.
The Jews caught the flag.
The juice?
Who
Like,
caught it?
there were 3 Jews in the stands wearing yarmulkes.
No,
Because he's got Judar.
What?
How do you know they were Jewish?
Because he's got Judar. He saw
Because-
it.
No,
because- because
I want to actually know what Hank says. How did you know they were Jewish?
because they were all wearing yarmulkes.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Wait a minute.
he just kept interrupting you, and I was like, Hank, that's very presumptuous of you to just look at
I
someone
have-
and assume
I
they're
have
Jewish.
I have the picture of them, of all of them.
I thought because they put it up on eBay for auction.
No, I'm kidding. Who are you going with, John?
I'm going with the Jets.
Hank.
spelled it right.
I'm going with the Jets.
All right. I'm going Jets too.
We're all gonna lose that game.
Los Hetes.
Next game, pretty big game. Well, big game for Chargers. Washington. Okay.
Let him finish.
He said it's a big game for the Chargers. Washington.
I think Washington at it's
It's at LA.
at LA.
LA. Yeah, you gotta go Washington here.
Yeah, I'm going Washington. Washington always beats the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Washington too.
Yeah, well, so did the Browns last year, but
Okay, that
Whatever.
was just last year though.
Okay, the next 2 games coming up, they are my games of the week, and I'm happy that they're in the primetime slot for 425 games. That being, the first one being Seattle going to Jacksonville, take on
oh,
the
That's
Jacksonville
got to-
Jaguars.
it's got to be the Jags
I'm
because
going with
the
the Jags.
Seahawks cannot play outside of their warm.
Well, and their offensive
Little
line's a
stadium.
sieve, and Jacksonville has one of the best pass rushes in the NFL right now. Give me Jacksonville all day.
Yeah, but you got Russell Wilson.
And doesn't matter.
I'll say
I got
this,
Jacksonville as
I'll
well.
I'll say this right now. I freaking hate Jacksonville. And then throws the ball at the line of scrimmage because their stupid Madden offense. So I'm picking.
Wait, he's like Michael Vick in 2004.
I'm
when he
picking-
just
I'm
ran
picking-
back
No,
and forth.
but
I'm
except
picking
he
the
can actually
upset.
throw forward passes.
I'm picking the upset Seahawks. I hate them though.
Okay.
I hate Pete
You
Carroll.
hate
I hate Pete Carroll and the way he smacks
Oh,
his stupid gun.
I hate Pete Carroll so much. He is
What do
annoying.
you got against him? He's a good gum sponsor.
He's a great gum sponsor, but he doesn't know when to run.
That's why they're gonna lose. Okay. All joking aside, we go now to probably the biggest game of this weekend.
It was almost flexed.
It almost flexed. Thank you, because I think Baltimore and Pittsburgh should have
Thank
stayed
God
at the
I
4:30
hate Sunday
spot.
night football games. I like
You
to
know
get-
what, Ricky?
What?
Here you go. You just opened up a
I
can of
am
worms.
sick and tired of
Here
you
we go.
literally always counting out every AFC team. Literally, the only thing you care about in the NFL is your damn NFC, and specifically the NFC. It's the only thing you ever want to talk about.
It's the Sunday night football game.
They should have flexed that out. I think that the Ravens Steelers should have been flexed. It's one of the best rivalries in football. The Eagles fans never play each other. That is not a rivalry.
No, what do you mean? I literally just said Baltimore and Pittsburgh. They're playing on Sunday night. I said,
You said they should have been. You said that they should have stayed at 4:30 and not gotten the prime time. I heard you.
Yeah, because-
Don't take what you said.
Hey, Rick, this has been building up for so long. Oh my goodness gracious!
Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this game.
guys, I have a song to play. Okay, this is a
Oh,
real,
here we go.
this is a real quick song. Okay,
Oh,
all right.
Lord.
This is a real quick song for both of you guys. Okay,
Oh no!
all right,
Oh wow!
all right. So this is real quick. It's
fourth time.
it's actually one of my favorite songs. It's
not quick to play. It's just gonna be a quick song.
It's loading up. It's loading up.
It's loading.
We've got
This is what we
time.
call stalling for time,
We've
people.
got
over
time.
Hey, what are you
Well, it's been building up inside of me for I don't know how.
Thank you, Hank.
I don't know why.
But I'm sorry. It's just that I feel that the why should we have flexed that game?
Oh my God! Do you even know what the AFC North is about?
No, he doesn't because he didn't even
Ah,
realize
that's why it's on Sunday night.
AFC North rivals with the
I mean, your damn Cowboys get every fucking national attention every fucking time I hear them. Oh, it's on Thursday Night Football. Oh, it's on fucking Monday Night Football. It's so terrible. Anyway.
Jesus Christ! I was just I don't even know what to say. I was gonna say like that's why it's on Sunday night football. It's a game.
Eagles and Rams. I'm taking the Rams to beat, or I'm taking the Eagles to beat the Rams in LA. No Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
I think the Eagles are actually going to lose this game. They're going to go
I'm
on a
going with
strike. The Rams are going to win.
Oh, TJ's
I'm going with the
taking
Rams.
Hank, who are you taking?
I picked the Eagles when the season started, but with the whole fire, with the whole thing with the fire in LA, you never know if the Rams are gonna get motivated.
Oh my God.
I'm picking the Eagles again just because I picked them when the season started. And I haven't really changed a pick all season, but I'll tell you something.
All right.
I'll tell you something. If the Eagles come out flat in this game, it's not gonna be good.
All right. Next game we have probably the best game of the week.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I was gonna say that when we got to that. No, I was gonna say when we got there, you wouldn't let me.
No, because you already said right before the Redskins or right before the Seahawks Jaguars game, you said the next 2 games are my games of the week, and then you said the Seahawks Jaguars equals Rams.
No, because
This is the 3rd game of the week.
they're already on the Sunday night game and the Monday game. Get this.
I'll give it to you.
Hey, Ricky, we love you, buddy. We're just giving you some shit, bud.
I'm taking Pittsburgh to beat the crap out of
Oh, the cherry on top.
I'm taking Pittsburgh to clinch the. I'm taking Pittsburgh to clinch the North.
Hank, who you taking?
I'm gonna pick Baltimore.
Hank's gonna pick the Ravens.
Hey, you know what? I told you guys, and this is on film. I told you 7 games in a row for the Steelers, didn't I?
And then they'll lose.
And then they'll lose. Maybe to the Browns, but I was just a little bit early on that prediction. In the Browns end of the year, but they're losing to the Ravens.
Because I just realized, that's why I said it in the chat to you guys. The Steelers just won 7 games, and they're about to lose this one and then lose the last game of the season to the Browns to not get the bye in the first week of the playoffs.
If that happens, I'm giving DJ. If that happens, DJ wins the Pick'ems League.
Because listen to this. I was actually just looking at both the schedules. The Ravens, if they win this game in Pittsburgh, the rest of the games are at home against the Colts, against the Browns, and against the Bengals. The Steelers still have to go to New England.
No, they play New England at home.
Oh, you do?
They still have to play New England. Whether you go there or they come to you, you're playing New England. Okay, let's get to our last game. But anyways, I'm picking the Ravens, obviously.
The final game is probably the best game. No, I'm kidding. It's New England going up against the Miami Dolphins. This isn't even a question. It's going to be New England.
Got New England as well.
Hank?
We
lost Hank.
New England.
You had to think about that, huh?
Well, yeah, because Gronk isn't playing, and he's like their best.
Oh, this is true, but he hasn't been. I guess he's been kind of a focal point last week.
I'm taking the Dolphins.
Whoa!
Just to say just to throw a big middle finger up to the picks this week. We all picked so many of the same games. I think this is the only game where one of us has the opposite of everyone else.
Wait, and Ricky, did you pick the Eagles or the Rams?
No, I picked the Rams.
Cool, man. Cool. Man, this was one hell of a podcast. I'm hoping a lot of people got to witness the tirade at the very end of the pick'ems here. Josh
They're
just
not
let it go.
witnessing. They can't see us speak.
But then
Yeah,
still,
they can't see. Like,
you know what? We're all witnesses,
They're
okay?
Stevie,
All right.
Stevie Wonder.
We're all witnesses.
Unless you're blind.
unless you're blind or deaf.
Anyways, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. Like us on Facebook, 2 Birds and a Third. We're here for you. Comment. We'll answer your questions. Hank, Ricky, it was fabulous talking to you tonight.
Yeah,
and Josh,
exactly.
Fabulous.
can't wait for your next playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs?
Wait, guys.
yeah.
Wait, guys.
And I can't wait. I cannot wait to announce what my games of the week are going to be next week
I bet it has to do with the Cowboys.
Guys.
Now it's gonna be like every
guys,
single Ravens game has to be
I'm
the
getting-
game. Even if they're playing a lowly team.
Next week we play the Colts. Don't make that the
Game
game
of
of the week. Because I don't even want that to be the game of the week.
So guys.
All right,
I
guys.
have,
Well, you guys have a great night. We're signing off.
Wait, I've got an update. Hold on.
Yep.
Hold on.
Oh,
Wait.
whoa. Breaking
Whoa,
news.
breaking
I've
news
just
from
gotten
What-
news that the Eagles Rams game might be moved.
Oh, is there a Philly raid going on or something? What's going on?
Ooh, could it switch with the Patriots?
No,
That could-
no. The game won't be moved. The location would be moved.
Oh, to where? Where would they come play?
I have no idea, but probably
Arizona.
No, they come to Oakland.
no. They'd come to Philadelphia.
No, I don't know if you could do that.
No, you
I
can't.
don't know if
No, I'm not sure you can.
Because then that would add an extra home game. You have to play at a neutral ground.
The
And you
Giant-
can't
the-
play in Arizona because the Cardinals are already playing there.
The Giants
Um,
and the Giants and the Saints.
It would be
once did
Oakland. There's nobody playing in Oakland right now.
The Giants and the Saints once did it.
Well, anyways,
But they
that
could
was
play in
the
San
update
Diego.
for everybody.
You're welcome. Mm.
Yeah, could they just go back to the old Chargers?
Qualcomm.
I think they're blowing it down already. So, anyways, guys,
All right.
thanks for listening at the very end. I hope everybody had a great night. Hank, Ricky, Josh, signing off for y'all. Have
Yeah.
a wonderful evening.
Bye.
See you guys.